And a lot of people have asked me, like, are you trying to move this year soon? And let me just say, hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another day in my life. So today, like usual, I am bringing you along for a fun day with my BB around our little homestead in the city. I'm gonna share with you guys everything that I ate, all 3 meals, and also we actually made our way to the park with a couple of our friends. It was a really sweet and cute time, and so I'm bringing you guys along for that too. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, consider leaving a comment or even sharing it. That really helps to support my channel and also helps to grow our community of like-minded people who want to pursue a more natural, holistic, artsy, slower life. So this is me walking in the room to the mess that he's made. Dan and I have been sleeping in separate rooms for the last couple of months because of a back injury that I acquired in the end of last year. And so on this night, I had slept in the guest bedroom. Logan co-sleeps once he wakes up in the middle of the night for his milk, which, by the way, if you missed Logan's night routine / really our family night routine and you want to check it out, I will try to remember to link that down below. But anyways, when I come in the morning, usually Logan is playing, making a mess. Dan is often still asleep, and so I will give Logan a little bit of his bottle and just kind of play with him and cuddle, and it's just very sweet. So Logan's actually been drinking a lot less milk in the middle of the night, and so what's been happening is often in the morning he really wants to catch up on his milk intake. I also made this milk in his night routine, by the way. It's a hemp-based milk. It's hemp and coconut. So, yeah. A lot of people have also asked us about Logan's floor mattress in his bedroom. We love it. We love it so much, though, that we ended up putting our mattress on the floor. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of miss having my mattress on a proper bed frame because sometimes the bed does feel a little low, but it's super convenient for co-sleeping, which, like I mentioned, Logan goes to sleep in his own room at night, and then when he wakes up in the middle of the night, he will come in with either us or, since we've been sleeping separately lately a lot, just Dan. Side note, I also kind of feel like I'm just trying to heal up to hopefully try to get pregnant again later in the year. So that's the other thing about this whole sleep situation. Now, you are about to see an obnoxious amount of videos of me posing with Logan. I just think that my baby is so cute. I can't help it. And I just really wanted to take some video of us posing together. Okay, people? Logan was probably squatting, taking his morning poop there. Just saying. Oh, and Logan said the word opposite the other day. And so I kept trying to get him to say it. He did not re-say it, but he did actually say it the other day. So once we were up and kind of, moving about, we made our way downstairs to go and eat some breakfast. Now, this morning, I wanted to make some Brussels sprouts. I have been low-key addicted to asparagus lately. Like, we've been eating so much asparagus. And the other day, I was just like, yo, I think I really need to mix up my veggie intake. And so I cut up some Brussels sprouts, and then I used avocado oil, which is one of my favorite oils to cook with. Oh, and you might notice we got Logan one of these little step stool things to watch while we cook. Although I wish I had one upstairs too, because I want him to be able to watch while I play piano. That's a separate thing. So anyways, threw the Brussels sprouts in the pan with avocado oil and lots of salt. That's kind of one little tip I'll give you guys. I tend to salt throughout the entire process of cooking. I think that the salt does something to the food while it's cooking. So yeah, I would just like to recommend that rather than just adding salt at the end. Try to add it while you're cooking. Now, I will say I've also been utilizing little bits of water to deglaze my pans lately when cooking, but I wish I had not done it to those Brussels sprouts because essentially it steamed the Brussels sprouts, which made them not as tasty. But yeah, so I took these 2 eggs that we had gotten from the chickens on this morning, and I put them in the pan to cook them. Logan loves watching me cook or Dan cook. He just likes having this stool to elevate him so he can see what's going on. I highly recommend it, by the way. I will try to remember to link it down below. It's super sturdy and stable, and honestly, we're just loving it so far. On this day, I used this Canyon Bakehouse gluten-free toast that I wanted to use as like a base for the eggs. So while the Brussels were cooking, I crushed some garlic into the pan as well. I like to add my garlic near the end of whatever I'm cooking. I want it on there long enough to let the heat really bring the spices to life, but I don't want it to be burnt. So I put the garlic on at the end, as well as some balsamic. And then while that was cooking, I did the morning thing of drinking a bunch of water. Oh yeah, look at me be hydrated. So I had only gotten 2 eggs, like I mentioned, so far this morning. So I decided to make my way out and see if there was a 3rd egg waiting for me. So I made my way to the chicken coop, but I noticed only 2 of my chickens were out because Big Red was laying. Also, I've recently noticed that there are some wild chives growing in our backyard. Apparently, wild chives are pretty easy to forage. I think these came from my garden though, like they just, I think, flew off and grew over there. So I picked some wild chives and I brought them in for our eggs. So if you're looking for dairy-free cream cheese, Kite Hill's cream cheese, in my opinion currently, is like the best one there is. I like that it's very simple ingredients, it's almond based, and I just like the tang that it gives. It gives that cream cheese tang that we all know and love. So then I put the eggs on top, and then I put some of the chives on top as well that I had foraged from my backyard. Let's not forget, it's very exciting. I always have to add chunky salt on top of everything because it's so good. I love the Malden salt, by the way. I buy mine online, so yet again, another shout out to a link if you want to check it out. Most of my links are affiliate links, by the way, so anytime you purchase anything from down below, you are supporting this channel and our family. So just wanted to say I appreciate that. Okay, so cutting up Cara oranges. Cara oranges are my favorite. And then that was our breakfast. For anyone that's wondering, oh, I was trying to get him to wave. He was too like, oh, there we go. We have loved our Stoka Trip Trap. So if you are in the market for a high chair, it's a pricey high chair, but we've had 2. This one and then like a super, super inexpensive one. And this one is just so much more comfortable for him, so easy to clean, beautiful. It's gonna last forever. So I highly recommend it.
Ooh. So there's a lot going on right now. So every day I've noticed has just kind of felt like okay, what are we going to tackle today? Because I think, I've mentioned to you guys a bunch. We're trying to move soon. And a lot of people have asked me, like, are you trying to move this year soon? And let me just say, yes. Oh, this is like my braid, by the way, from sleeping last night. Let me say, yes, we are trying to move this year. But actually, we're trying to move like in a month. There's so much happening. I haven't wanted to fill you guys in yet because there's just a lot of things we have to handle here, like personally, before we actually move. And I just haven't really wanted to explain what we're up to yet or what we have to handle. So I will though soon. There are reasons. I feel like after you've been on the internet for like 10 years, you're a lot more hesitant about what you share when. Some of you might be like, what are you talking about? You still blabber your whole life all over the internet. But I'm telling you, for me, from my experience, there's a lot that I don't say on the internet in the same timing I might have said on the internet like 5 years ago. I used to be a lot more of like a, just kind of like fly by the seat of my pants, open book online. And now I'm a little more hesitant. So I'll be keeping you guys posted, but now I'm gonna get dressed and we're gonna go take a drive because it's beautiful outside. I feel like just getting out, going to the park, taking a drive is like just sounds like a really great way to start the day. I'm still a little bit tired. I've been up for a few hours, but it always takes me a while to kind of like wake up in the morning. Plus I haven't had my caffeinated tea yet. So also this room is like a complete and utter mess. So I'm gonna get dressed. We're gonna take our drive. I'll clean up when I get back.
Well, on a random note, this is the skincare I used this morning. I've really been liking Tula lately. And then I got ready, which I did not film, and we made our way to the park. So tell me my child does not look like an angel. This was like really last minute. My friend Sarah and her son Abner were going to the park to hang, and she texted me, and Dan and I were just going to be taking a drive on this morning. And so we decided to meet up with them. Sarah and her husband also have a YouTube channel, and they have Airbnbs here in Nashville. And she's just like the cutest, sweetest human. I will have her Instagram linked down below too if you want to check her out. So I also have to say, this dress makes me feel very bougie. Like I threw this on, I got ready very quickly on this morning, but I love a good dress because it can make you feel like you've put in effort even when you didn't. And shout out to Outer Known who makes this dress. They make beautiful clothing that is so well made, and it's all sustainably made, like the materials that they use, how they're made, all of that. So I highly suggest checking them out. I've shouted them out quite a few times. And then Logan was actually wearing his cute little Carhartt overalls that we got when we visited Idaho. I'm obsessed with them. He's basically grown out of them already. It's very sad. So Logan is just at that age where parks are starting to become interesting to him, or at least in our mind. We had not really taken him out to parks much because he couldn't walk, it was cold, it just didn't make a lot of sense. But now he's liking it, and let me just say Mama and Dada are liking it too. It's very fun, and I can't wait to spend many more days at the park with my baby. So once we got home from the park, we decided that we were not done hanging outside because it was so beautiful. And so on this day, nap time got pushed back a little bit, lunchtime got pushed back a little bit, and we decided to take advantage of the weather that we had been given, which was absolutely beautiful on this day. So I filled up some water and we just hung out in the back with the ladies and just hung out in the dirt. Does anyone else's baby love ice? Because Logan has recently discovered ice and he's obsessed. Also, I took this moment to pose with my dress in case you didn't get a good enough look at it, and then Big Red tried to fly away. Also, our sage and rosemary are still thriving. As you guys know, we are not gardening this year because we are in the process of trying to move. And so honestly, these are just the plants that haven't been eaten by the chickens for some reason. I'm assuming they don't like them. And so we keep using them to make pasta sauce and whatever else we want to make with it. Also, I literally did not know till I had chickens how beautiful chickens are. So we all know I'm a big fan of Mexican-inspired food. And so on this day, I decided to make some taquitos out of mushrooms, poblano peppers, onions, and a bean mixture. And by the way, the bean mixture I used pinto beans. And then the tortillas that we were using, I was going to use the cassava flour, and Dan ate on the corn tortillas. And I basically just roll them up and then cook them on a pan with avocado oil. In the last year, I've hardly gone grocery shopping. I pretty much do grocery delivery as of right now. and I ordered this Cascadian Farms vanilla chia crunch cereal. I'm not a cereal person, but the stuff was good. And I also got in our order this day some strawberry Oatly ice cream, cilantro, apples, garlic, a couple of different types of tea, some canned beans, some Sir Kensington ketchup, the best eggs ever in my opinion from Vital Farms because our chickens don't lay enough eggs for us to only eat theirs. This Base Culture seed-based bread, so it's a gluten-free bread, some pears because I love pears, some green scallions, and bananas. By the way, one day I will make my own tea, but until then, I'm buying tea still. This tea is really good. So our fridge was like overwhelmingly kind of gross and just everything was shoved in there in a way that didn't make sense. So I decided to just like take a couple minutes and clean out our fridge. I'm really gonna miss our home and how beautiful it is, especially in the afternoons when the sun comes through. So at this point, after lunch, Logan went down for his nap, and I'd say half the time when Logan's napping, I reset his toy space. Some days I don't reset it until that night when he goes to bed because it'll feel kind of pointless, like I'm just gonna clean it up for him to make a mess and I don't have the energy or the time. But when I do like to reset it because he seems to enjoy his toys a lot more when he can come in and see them in kind of a new, fresh light. So once I had organized his toys, I also decided to quickly kind of put the couch back together. We love this couch so much, but it tends to kind of like deconstruct itself. So you have to kind of refluff and push things back up to bring it back to normal. I also realized that our kitchen really needed a wipe down. I mean, you can see it on the counter that the drink and the phone are sitting on, but the stovetop was like next level bad, like real messy. So I decided to give that a quick scrub down as well. By the way, I haven't gotten to use it yet, but I wanted to show you this apron. I mean, I could have used it at any point, but I just haven't for some reason. So I just wanted to show you guys this apron I got that I'm hoping in the future I'll be using a lot because it makes me feel very professional and motherly at the same time. So later in the day, when Logan woke up, I started boiling some water for dinner. And Logan doesn't spend a whole lot of time in his little playpen, but lately we've started utilizing it more because he gets himself into so much trouble. By the way, we had little men playing on the TV at the same time. So yeah, he hung out in his playpen reading his book, which he's obsessed with his books. It's really cute. And so he did that while Dan worked on a couple projects to move us forward in the moving process, and I made us dinner. So I chopped up this portobello mushroom, and then I chopped up a little bit of these, I think they're called cremini mushrooms, that I had on hand as well. I used this organic Better Than Bouillon vegetable base. I do like to make my own veggie broth, but honestly, everything is so crazy right now. This is what I'm using. Then I chopped up some sweet onions. Then I added some avocado to a pan, as well as my mushrooms and my onions. Now this time, this is what I was mentioning earlier, adding water to the pan to deglaze was nothing but helpful because it wasn't gonna matter if these had kind of, not mushy, I don't wanna make it sound gross, but this whole dish, risotto is very like squishy. So adding the water was actually really helpful. It allowed me to cook it longer without it like tearing apart and sticking and burning. So I just cooked up my mushrooms, my onions, and then near the end of that, I added in some crushed garlic. By the way, I did add salt while I was cooking all of these veggies. And then Logan made his way over and I gave him some avocado just to like temper his appetite a little bit. And then lately we've been starting to have dance parties, guys. I'm gonna lose it because honestly, I didn't know when I was a little kid that one day I could have a kid of my own that would dance with me. And now experiencing this as he's getting older and understanding like music and movement more, is just about the sweetest thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I'm not kidding. So this is what you make risotto out of. So I took this arboriora, I don't even know how to say it, rice, and I poured some in a pan with the veggies and the garlic that I had just cooked up, and I stirred it around and I let the rice kind of toast up a little bit. Then the way that you make risotto is you basically have to baby the stovetop. So I scooped in some veggie broth and then you just stir it around and you let it cook. And basically once the heat dries up the broth and the broth is absorbed into the rice, it's going to want more. And then that's when you add it in. So risotto is actually like super easy. You just really have to monitor it and baby it because it's very quickly, it can turn from the point of like cooking and whatever to like getting stuck to the pan. So you have to really stand there and continue to stir, continue to add broth when you feel like it's necessary. And for me, in my experience, it's not that scientific. Like if you're wondering, well, when do I add the broth? Kind of whenever you feel like the broth needs to be added. Sometimes I'm soaking my risotto in broth and it cooks a little longer. Sometimes it's little scoops. It's really just the most important thing is continuing to keep stirring and keep adding broth. So I did add a little bit of white wine. Sometimes I add wine in the beginning when the veggies are cooking or throughout the process. I've even added red wine, like I said, throughout the process of the cooking. And you really just take little test bites as you're going. So that's how you know when to stop and when to stop adding broth is when it tastes the way you'd like it to taste. So when the rice is at the squishiness level that you would like it to be at is when you stop. Now this is vegan risotto, but you can make risotto full of dairy. And I want to say it's even better because it probably is, let's just be real. But honestly, guys, I'm not kidding. This vegan risotto tastes like it is full of dairy because it's so creamy. And that's the point of risotto and why people like it so much, because it is creamy kind of naturally as you cook it. Now, while I was cooking, Dan was going over flashcards with Logan, just explaining words to him. I mean, I don't know that I need to give you a big explanation as to what flashcards are, but there you go. And then as I was cooking the risotto, I also decided to squeeze in some lemon juice. The risotto was done cooking at this point, but I decided I wanted to go back out to the garden, not only to experience the sunset in the backyard. It was, like I said, so beautiful, but also because I wanted to pick some fresh rosemary for the top of the risotto. Logan pushed the big ball out into the backyard like a crazy baby. Logan is so obsessed with this ball. He loves bouncing on it, pushing it. He gets kind of mad that he can't pick it up, that he's not big enough to pick it up. So that's kind of funny and cute. But he loves this ball. Little does he know he's been bouncing on this ball since basically he was conceived, since he was in my belly. And that is the mushroom risotto. I had so many requests to share this with you guys the other night on Instagram when I showed what I was making. So I hope this was worth it. I hope you guys make it for dinner soon and really enjoy yourselves. And like I said, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I will try to remember to link everything I mentioned, but if I forget, please comment and remind me or ask me, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into video making and sometimes I just forget things. So, all right, bye guys.